before Reddit. Com user Digstaws got down to sharing their spine-chilling ghost story. They pointed out the irony of tales that start with the phrase, "I don't believe in ghosts," but, as they explained, no matter how a ghost story begins, it's always rooted in the belief that, deep down, we all believe in ghosts. A few years back, I moved into a one-bedroom apartment in Melbourne, Australia. They recounted out the story. I was living on my own for the first time, and the building had been constructed in the 1930s. After a few months, I returned from work one day and went into the bathroom. To my surprise, I found a wooden board that covered a hole in the ceiling leading to an attic space, shattered into two pieces on the floor. I was shocked because the board was an inch thick and it would have taken immense strength to break it. I wondered if the landlord had sent someone to work on the attic. However, the fear of someone being up there left me paralyzed. I sent pictures of the broken board to the landlord, asking if anyone had been there, but with a hint of annoyance since she hadn't warned me. She replied promptly, asking me to call her. When I did, she informed me that the last two tenants had experienced the same thing. She promised to replace the board, and she kept her word. A month later, I was awakened at 4 a.m. by an eerie feeling that someone was touching me. Everything was silent, but then I heard a dragging noise coming from above my bed. It was like someone was pulling a sack of potatoes. I was convinced that someone was up there. I mustered up the courage to turn on the light, armed myself with a cricket bat, and walked to the bathroom. To my horror, I found the new board that had covered the hole was also broken in two. As I stood there, I could hear whispering coming from the attic. The sound was clear and it sounded like children's voices, repeating the same sentence over and over, "It's your turn, it's your turn." I switched on every light in the apartment to make things feel normal, but a fuse blew. My pet budgie, Dexter, who was usually quiet at night, started squawking loudly as if he was being strangled. I panicked, grabbed my car keys, and ran outside, sitting in my car until the sun came up. When I saw people walking their dogs, I felt safe enough to return to the apartment. The front door was open, but I assumed I might have forgotten to close it when I ran out. I went to the kitchen to check on Dexter, but he was gone. I searched everywhere inside, and when I walked to the bathroom, I heard splashing. To my shock, I found Dexter half drowned in the toilet. I took him out, washed him, and dried him. I was so bewildered. At 8 a.m., I called the landlord and told her a watered-down version of the night's events. She was shocked and said, "Oh, wow, you heard the whispering too." I lived in that apartment for another 18 months and heard the whispering on several occasions, and twice the board that covered the hole in the ceiling moved. Although I now live elsewhere, the landlord recently called and told me that her new tenants had begged to speak with me about some of the strange occurrences in the apartment. But I declined. It's their problem now.